All right, today's lesson is lesson 8.2. We're going to use properties of parallelograms. Okay, this is just a recap on the vocabulary. A parallelogram is a quadrilateral, meaning it's a four-sided polygon, with both pairs of opposite sides that are parallel. Remember the notation for parallel are these little like arrows going in the same direction? So P and Q are parallel to, PQ is parallel to SR, as PS is parallel to QR. Parallelogram. Woo, fancy. All right, let's check out the properties of parallelograms. In this theorem, if a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then its opposite sides are congruent. The notation for congruency is just a little hash mark. So PQ is congruent to SR. And QR is congruent to PS. That is a fact. That happens for every single parallelogram. Kind of similar to a rectangle. All right, theorem 8.4 says if a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then its opposite angles are congruent. So that would mean angle P is congruent to angle R. Angle P is congruent to angle R. And angle Q is congruent to angle S. Remember, congruency just means they are equal in size. All right, those are fun little facts. Our next fun little fact is theorem 8.5. It says if a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then its consecutive angles are supplementary. That means, like, let's say this is 80 degrees here. This would be 100 degrees because 80 and 100 make 180. And we know that opposite angles are congruent, so because we just saw that, so that would mean S would have to be 100. And R would have to be 80. So any two consecutive sides added together in a parallelogram are supplementary. So angle P plus angle Q equals 180. Remember, that's what supplementary means. It means they add together to be 180. And angle Q, angle Q plus angle R is 180 degrees. Angle R plus angle S is 180 degrees, and angle S plus angle P is 180 degrees. And we went all the way around. Beautiful. All right, theorem 8.6 says if a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then its diagonals bisect each other. What does that mean? That means where they intersect is split in half. Ooh, that's close. All right, so that diagonal, they bisect each other. So let's say there's this point, let's just call this M here, this point M where they intersect. Let me close so you can see it. All right, that would be point M. So QM is congruent to SM. And PM is congruent to RM. Right, the diagonals bisect each other. That means they split in the middle. We have little, like that, okay? All right, do we have any other today? No, we don't. Now we have some practice problems. Oh, this is such a lovely, easy day for you guys. Good, happy Friday. All right, so we're gonna use the information, the fun facts we know about parallelogram. All of these three examples on the back of your paper are parallelograms. So first, let's look and see what they're trying to find. They tell us that this side, SV, is 12. Well, that means TU also has to be 12. I'm going to put that here. Then it wants to know what WT is. WT. So WT is from the middle to the end, right? So remember we just talked about the diagonals are bisecting each other. So if VW is 14, that means WT is 14. And then VT is just the sum, right? Of if I just found the whole length of those two segments, right? We just add them together. 14 plus 14 is 28. That was crazy. Perfect. Okay. All right. In number 2, we're talking about angles. Remember, it's kind of easy to see K because these are opposite angles. They are congruent. So this has to be 135 degrees up here. So the measure of angle K is 135 degrees. All right, we also said that consecutive angles are supplementary. So to find J, I would take 180 minus 135 and get 45. So this is 45 degrees here, which would make angle L 45 because they are also opposite angles. So this is 45. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, so nice. All right, let's look at our last example here. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have that last one on your paper, but you're gonna have to make room for it. I apologize. I don't know how that happened on the mail. All right. Anyway, it'll be fine. Okay, here we have number 3. We have two expressions. The angles are given in expressions. We know that these two are equal to each other, right? Because they're congruent. So in order to find x, we need to make an equation. 9x plus 2 equals 12x minus 34. Oops, I forgot my x. All right, so then we just subtract 12 on both sides. It gives me negative 3x plus 2 equals negative 34. Subtract 2, negative 3x equals negative 36. Divide by negative 3, and x equals 12. Fabulous. 12. When it says find the measure, what do we do when we solve for x? We plug it in. That's what we do. Okay, so 9 times 12 plus 2 gives us the measure of c, which is 110. So c is 110 degrees. And A and C are congruent, clearly, so A is 110 degrees. You can also just quickly do a quick check. 12 times 12 is 144 minus 34 is 110. Perfect. So that's it. It worked out. We did it right. Yay! All right, this last one here, I believe is the last one, and you know we don't have any paper. Oh no, I was just being silly. Okay, I only took up the first piece of paper, so you do have that. We do have 2 more papers. All right, opposite sides are congruent, which is good because they both have a y in them. So if I look at NL and NP, I know that they're equal to each other. 2y plus 21 equals 4y plus 15. Subtract 4y, and I get negative 2y plus 21 equals 15. If I subtract 21 from 15, it gives me negative 2y equals negative 6. Divide by negative 2, y equals 3. All right, then the same goes for these other two opposite sides. MN is congruent to PO. So 3x minus 9 is equal to 2x plus 31. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to subtract 2x. It gives me x minus 9 equals 31. I'm going to add 9. And x is equal to 40. So x is equal to 40. We do not have to plug these in, but you could if you wanted to, but the question just asks to solve for x and y, so we're fine. I believe one of the problems on the homework is going to give you a fraction. Don't freak out. That's okay. You'll be fine. All right, here we go. Last but not least. So it wants us to find the value of x. So let's look at this diagonal here from G to J. I know that here where they meet in the middle, that makes these two little segments congruent. So 2x plus 5 is equal to 25. 2x is equal to 20, and x is equal to 10. To find my y, the same thing happens here from K to this midpoint and H to the midpoint. These two segments are congruent. So y divided by 2 is equal to 8. All I do is multiply both sides by 2, and I get y is equal to 16. Fabulous. Fabulous. All right. Hopefully you're good and you don't need any help because I will be out of town until Sunday. So if you do get stuck on this, Try to ask your classmates for some help, and hopefully you get it finished. If you do need help, send me a message on Schoology, but I won't be able to respond until Sunday. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. Here is your assignment. I know it says 42, but it's actually 45, I believe. Okay, so page 512, 2 to 16, and then 23 to 31. When you guys get to number 30 and 31, it says algebra, they're word problems. Just make the other angle equal to x, and then reread that first sentence and make an equation about the one angle. So the other angle equals x in number 30, and the one angle is 0.25 times bigger than that, so it would be 0.25x. And then you know that the consecutive angles are supplementary. So hopefully you'll be able to figure it out. If not, like I said, I will see you on Monday, and you can ask me questions at school, and I'll get back to you on Sunday. Okay, bye.